Okay, blade fans. Oh, yes, I've got a great video for you today, I believe. And you've seen this one before. What we're going to talk about is not this knife, but something that arrived a few days ago. Very special. Was very happy to see this one arrive. And this is the Inversion, okay, by Pinkerton Knives, a custom maker with many designs out there in the world from numerous manufacturers. I'm not even going to mention them, but I will mention Concept, for instance, and Kaiser, and a bunch of others that I would probably miss if I attempted to list them all. He is a prolific designer. He's designed many different knives. This is one over the past few years that he's been developing. He did do an Inversion for Kaiser. I don't have that knife anymore. I traded that off for something to my good buddy Bob DeMarco, the knife junkie, and he has that one now. It looks very similar, although this blade shape, and this is it's a prototype, and this kind of came before the one I'm going to show you. This was kind of a trial run. And he had provided this one to me for review as a prototype. There's no markings on the blade. Stonewash finish. I think it's 14C on this one because it is a proto. Nothing particularly special, but nice steel. What he did from the original, and again, I don't have the original here to show you, is that he steepened this drop here to give more of a point. And a lot of that came out of some of the testing that Fieldworks has done. Ryan Atkinson, I believe, is the name. And they actually stab pig carcasses, see what the result is, and look at the penetration and look at how well you can hold it in your hand and so forth. So this is a liner lock. What I'm going to show you is a bit different, but this is the genesis of the design, the newer design, okay, for the Inversion. It is a Pikal or Pikal style knife. It's meant to be held with the fingers on this swell here and the edge in and point down. It's used in a stabbing and ripping motion. It is a defensive tactical knife. 99%, but you could use it for some utility. Got a little bit of a curve in here and a fairly high grind, and these come through quite sharp, still with a nice robust tip for holding up against hard work, shall we say. And this one's a liner lock. Okay, we're going to put that aside. Keep that in your memory for a moment. Here, in a beautiful Pelican style sealed box is what arrived the other day. Let's see if I can get a little more room here. Not quite that. That's about there. Okay. And let's pop this guy open. Kind of looks like a miniature rifle case, huh? Got Dirk's logo on there. And inside, what I see is the latest version of the Inversion. This was a 200-piece run, or part of a 200-piece run of serial numbered knives. It has a titanium handle with a orange peel, is what they're calling it, sort of texture to it. It's smooth, but it's got a little bit of grip to it. It's got kind of like some micro milling. I'm not sure how they put the orange peel. I know that took a little longer, and that's why these were promised for December of 2023. And they finally became available mid-January or so of 2024. So really not too bad considering how long some special projects take. You can see that it has the same wave opening feature. Call it that because everybody knows what the Emerson wave opening feature is. It's in brass. It does also come with a thumb disc, so you can take that off. But what's so prominent about this knife, and let's get it open so we can open it. Well, let's open it with the flipper. What's so prominent about this knife, obviously, is the ring. And the ring is offset to the side, which for holding any ringed knife is optimal, kind of like a curved karambit. So when this is in the hand, you see my beautiful scar there from my recent surgery, hand's coming along. We've got about the same blade shape as the original, but we've got this retention ring, which, by the way, is removable. Some people take it off. They don't want it. They don't like it. I happen to like it. I happen to feel it's useful. I happen to feel that it indexes the knife. Let's try the left hand, see if it's working a little better. And let's see if we can get a little more room here. Okay, that's about right. So you see, the ring, you can actually drop your thumb right there nicely. Or not, you can bring it around to the side. But this gives you, I would say, such a powerful grip. Just the feeling of cinching it in with that ring. And that ring is going to pull it out of your pocket. So there's the lock bar. It's a frame lock, by the way. So when this is coming out of the pocket, you know, it's right now it's set up for, how is it set up? Oh, it is set up for right hand. You got to reverse everything because it's a reverse edge knife. So it's going to come out this way, right? And it's going to go up into the hand. Now that would have been out of the right pocket, but it's transferable. And there's 3 positioning points. So it's at the highest right now. You can see the space through the clip there. See if I can put my finger through there so you can see it. All right. So that will get roughly to the middle of the ring at your top of your pocket. If you want it raised up a little bit, all you do is remove the screws and use the bottom 2 holes. So then you've got a little more ring available to you. And that was a very smart move, I think, to have that adjustable depth on a titanium clip, no less. So it's a black titanium clip. These do come, I believe, in black and black blade, DLC coated. This one is not. And I had preferred the brighter color with the satin finish. It's an S35VN, and this is serial number, I don't know if you can see it, 078 out of 200. And I think the 200 encompasses all iterations of it, all colors. Whether or not he does another run or not, I'm not sure. These are coming in roughly at 275, I think, 275, 280. Initially, there was a $50 deposit, and then you paid the balance when it was ready to be shipped. So let's get some quick measurements on this. New style, we're going to call it the ringed inversion. And overall, if I go to the ring, we've got like 7.65, let's say. If we go to the end of the handle, 7 1/4, so it'll get a little bit shorter if you take the ring off. The blade is like 3.15, I would call it. Not a long blade, but Pikal knives tend to be a little shorter. And in inches, let's go here. It's a contoured handle, 0.47, so it's slim. But you see these chamfers here give you a really nice feel. The blade itself is fairly robust at 0.15. That's to give you some tip strength. 3.9 millimeters, almost 4 millimeters. I think probably Dirk would call it a 4 millimeter blade stock. If I don't push, we'll call it 4 millimeters. Why not? Now, for weight, it is not particularly heavy. You got that titanium going. You've got a relatively short blade. What do we have? 3.5 ounces. 3.6 will round up. 3.6 ounces. S35VN. And if we look inside, let's see if I can light this up for you. you can see some pockets that have been milled out inside on both sides. So that's lightened it further. 3.6 ounces, folks. And a 3.15-inch blade. Pretty perfect. It just feels so good in the hand. So even if you took the ring off, this palm swell here, we'll call it a palm swell, just nestles very nicely into the fingers. And again, you know, this may not be the knife for you. You may be looking for an EDC knife. But if you keep company with guys like Ryan Atkinson, you're going to be Pikal all the way, pretty much. Because that is the, he is trained with Ed Calderon, so we got the Libre fighting system. And the Pikal knife also is very big with Filipino martial artists. Point up, point down work, point down work. It's used to stab and rip, basically. So let's do some compares. And we're going to put that there for a moment. We're going to bring in the original, which is a little lighter, by the way, because this is a hidden liner lock knife. Doesn't have the mass of handle that the ringed inversion does. And let me bring out one more. All right, well, I found a few more lurking in the wings here. Wanted to do a fixed blade compare with something they're custom made. And this is the ferrule. And you can see for a fixed blade, it's a small knife. But the whole idea here is to raise the point so that on the arc with these knives, you present the point first and then pull in. Some of the problem with some of the original designs that makers made for Pikal knives was that the point was a little bit too low. So you're actually hitting the blunt point of the knife, you know, closer to this region up here rather than this region down here. So here's one on the ferrule where he really raised the point way up there. So when this one is in the hand, you can see as it's moving on the arc that point is definitely driving in. For a little further compare, here is, I believe, what they call the Ruffian. And it's kind of munged up here with hand oil. Let's see. And that's a CJRB artisan knife that Dirk designed. And this is his other proclivity, is towards the Wharncliffe style blade. But you notice that edge is raised up. So should you want to use this in a Pikal fashion, it's going to be pretty effective. Yet, kind of like a Yojimbo by Spyderco, Michael Janich design, you have that devastatingly pointy Wharncliffe, which is great on the cuts because it presents the point first and continues to cut through the arc when you hold it in the point up position. All right, this is a nice little knife if you can get your hands on one. I'm not sure, I think they're still available. Not that expensive either. Great little EDC / tactical knife. So this is kind of what you're looking at when you take the ring off of the ringed Pikal knife, the Inversion. Blades are identical. We've got a satin finish on this blade. We've got a stone wash on this blade. Handle profile exactly the same. Blade profile exactly the same. Again, this is the prototype for this one. And this just, I think, turned out great. It is, if you're looking for a knife to carry with you that's kind of a last-ditch, quick access, defensive, capable knife, this is the one. And we're going to try some sharpness tests. I hope I don't embarrass Dirk. These, by the way, are OEM by Concept, and that's fairly common knowledge. He let everybody know on Instagram that that's who the OEM was. He kind of batted it around with a few different OEMs. that's where they ended up. So, oh, come on now. There we go. It's really got that advantage for point first, though, I would say. Less of a cutting implement. There we go. Does have an edge if you know how to use it. And I guess I'm still learning. You know, I've been handling knives and playing around with these for stuff for, you know, at least 50 years. Started out playing mumbly peg. You guys know what mumbly peg is? I was using my Boy Scout knife for that. Like about 20 different positions that you twirl the knife into the ground. You rotate it off of your nose, your head, your wrist, your hand, and you try to stick it in the ground. And if you miss, then it goes over to your partner, your buddy who you're doing it with. All right, that's kind of that's kind of an aside there, but it's a beautiful knife. I'm not sure there's going to be a second run or not. I believe these are all played out. But if you're looking for a very special tactical knife and you're in the market for a Pikal knife, I think you can look no further than this. This has got it all going for it. With the ring, without the ring, high carry, low carry, really an awesome knife. And if you don't want that wave opener on it, again, he does provide you with a standard thumb disc, kind of like a Trezola sort of thumb disc for regular thumb opening, right? Well, that's all I got to say about this remarkable knife. Thank you very much, Dirk Pinkerton, for your design prowess and for pushing this design through. Thank you for the prototype and for supplying this beautiful, beautiful knife. We'll be back soon. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. I'll be back with you soon.